right, so before I put the engine in, I pretty much got it all ready, but before I put it in, I'm going to clean up all the little things that I can. On a 2ZZ engine, there are two of these little oil filters. One is here on this corner. This is the device, but there's a bolt right underneath here, right behind the alternator and right next to the new oil dipstick that you remove that bolt. Looks like that. And behind that is this little filter, and it just snaps in there. So you want to take that out and just clean the screen. You should be able to kind of see through it. There is a second one of these that is on the lift system, which is right here. And when I did the bolts up here and had to get that broken bolt out, let's see, it's right here. It's behind this. This one has a tendency to, if it gets clogged, your lift won't work. And mine was pretty clogged. You couldn't see through it. It was a little clogged up. Once I sprayed it a few times, you got it all out. But so that's an important one to check. So while you have it apart, you want to do both those. I wasn't really aware of this other one over here, but I got this one while I had it apart. And then I'm going to take and check some of the other things. Idle control valve, mass sensor, those ones off the top of my head, but I'm going to check a few others too. Just make sure everything's nice and clean and ready to go before it goes in. All right, stuck here in the garage. It's pouring rain out today, so got the garage door closed, so hopefully it's bright enough for all of this. But I've got everything prepped. I ended up just pulling the whole mass flow, or I'm sorry, the throttle body off. Much easier to get to it and clean everything out. It wasn't terribly dirty, just a little bit. The filter on this side was not really dirty at all. The one up on this end was definitely dirty and clogged, so I'm definitely glad I got that. So spiffed everything up. I've got it balanced on this board on my motorcycle lift. If you push on it, it'll fall off, but I think it'll be sturdy enough to be able to move. And I've got the car on some ramps. Ramp part's not on them, but they're lifted up so that I can tip this up much higher. So I've got it jacked up here. I've got it much higher than I did before. I should be able to slide it right in there and start getting it lined up. And hopefully I have this thing level enough to where I'll be able to get some mounts in and get that done. I do have the urethane engine mounts that I'm going to add in. One goes in the back there, and the other one goes in the front, which is on the other cross member. You just do front and back for the inserts. The ones on the side you don't do. So that's probably the only thing I'm adding as I do this at first. And it's just a lot of connecting things. All right, the jack is empty and the engine is in. Turned out to be a little different. It didn't work out the way I had planned. You have to do the mount on this side first. That makes sense. And then you can do the one on the other side, and then we come back, do the front and back. now. So right now we have the 2. This one can slip in pretty straight in, but the problem is that the engine doesn't lay flat, so it wants to lay at a tilt with that end up in the air. So it just didn't work. So what we did is we actually used 2 jacks, one on that side of the car and one on this side of the car, and then we could level it out and we could move it up and down and get it in the right spot and so on. So that worked much better than trying to do a single motorcycle jack. So feedback on that one. But now it's mounted, and at the same time I got the air conditioning pump is installed. I got to put the belt on. I can start hooking up the hoses and the cables and so on and so forth now. And we'll get to the front engine mount on the transmission there. The back one will go in when I put in the other cross piece, and we'll get there.